Did y'all hear about Section 8? I think I finally get a chance to have 72-cent rent. They said for 2026 you can't have more than 2 years on Section 8. So all you motherfuckers that been holding the motherfucker line up, get ready to pack your shit and get the. Cause when I say I'm running to the motherfucking list, that's about the best thing that they done. That's it. Cause I've been waiting on them to open the motherfucking Section 8 list for so much long. I was hoping they made a Section 9. Like, can I get a piece of the pie? Do you know what I can do if y'all let me have 72-cent rent for 2 years? I don't give a that it's only 2 years. That'll help me out tremendously. Now I hate that for the people that don't know how to survive outside of the government assist. But I most definitely want to turn. Like I feel like it's only fair that we all get a turn of the Section 8 lifestyle. Like I never had that. I want to see what that be like, because y'all ain't doing it right. Something about it that y'all ain't doing it right. Like if you can't afford what the either afford by now, you ain't do it right. I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you.
I think this sounds good right now, but I think she's one of these people with these fickle philosophies. But I think once her 2 years is up, then all of a sudden she's going to be complaining that it's not long enough. I think she'll flip just like that because she says she's been waiting for years to get on it. What I interpret by that is that you've been getting by just fine for years when you reported that you needed it. So you didn't need it because you're making it just fine if you ask me. So this is the abuse that I'm talking about. You're surviving without it, but now all of a sudden there's this necessity. The necessity is going to fall right when it opens up and you're able to take advantage of it. And I don't think that's right. I think that apparently you're able to get by just fine. And so you should just keep on getting by just fine and don't make things worse for yourself. If things stay the same just like they are, you're working right now, I would expect you're going to be improving, right, and moving up. So as time goes by, in my mind, you're getting by just fine. Your situation should be getting better. You should be getting more sustainable. So that's my thing. She already admitted, and not even admitted, but her current situation shows that it's not a necessity because you put in for it years ago, and you haven't. Listen, you're not on the streets right now. Matter of fact, you're in the bed, like what I always see, in the bed with that thing on your head. You're not up. You're not getting active. You look very comfortable.
This gonna ruffle some feathers, but I'm gonna say it. You know who y'all should be mad at? You know who you young ladies should be mad at? Your low income mothers who didn't tell you not to have any babies in low income until you were not low income. That's who set you up for failure. That was your first enemy. In the low income community, we're not talking about this. It's no reason why your mother's still in low income. You're having babies in low income and then moving into low income.
The only reason y'all are still having children you know you can't afford is because the government is there to bail you out every single time. If you were not allowed to add additional children to your Section 8 or your food stamp applications and or able to receive WIC for any kids that you did not initially have when you first.
Let me address that first woman real quick because here's my thing. I'm real big on personal responsibility. I'm real big on personal responsibility. And I feel like a lot of this stuff is common sense. If you're at the age to where you have your faculties and you can observe for yourself, I don't think that you can be a 20 something year old trying to blame your mama because you decided to have kids that you couldn't take care of. That's common sense. Kids ain't free. Shoot, you by yourself ain't free. So what make you think that taking on a child is going to be something free? I think that these things are, common sense. I don't want to bail them out. Sure, do our parents have some form of personal responsibility, especially when they raise them up on this? Because we see a lot of people on government assistance come online and they're setting a bad example. And you see grown folks come on here talking about how they're abusing it. And guess who's watching? The young folks. They see you living just fine. They see you living good and not having no worries in the world, able to do all the impulsive things that you can conceive and even conceiving. And to them, it doesn't look so bad. It doesn't. if things stay the way that they are, then they should be just fine if they decide to go down that same path. But what we're seeing is when regimes change, when new leadership comes in, things always have the possibility to get shaken up. And ultimately, laws do not remain forever. Laws are subject to change, and now people are seeing that. And so what we're learning is that we can't try to design our future and design our legacy based off of the way things are currently.
Apply for government assistance and got approved, y'all would stop. What I mean by that is, let's say you have 2 kids, you apply for food stamps in Section 8, and your benefits reflect 2 children. And the government says, that's all you got from us. You already can't do it yourself. We're going to help you. But if you have any more kids, that's on you. So let's say you get pregnant with a 3rd child. You apply for benefits and you're denied. And the government says, oh, you couldn't take care of the other 2, so why the you having more, right? So now you have 3 kids, but your benefits only reflect 2. You have 3 kids and you can't get WIC to feed that child, that newborn baby. You can't afford those $40 cans. Okay, let's say, oh, you have a 3rd kid, but your rent is not going to go down just because you had another baby. You're keeping the same rent. Y'all would not do that. And quite frankly, y'all are trying to debate me. In the same month, the government said they weren't going to give y'all food stamps. And y'all was crying on the internet saying this isn't fair. It's holiday time. It's food stamps. Like, we need the food stamps. We got to feed the kids. And don't get me wrong, the kids do need to get fed. I would never say kids need to starve because their parents made poor decisions. But it's no way y'all are trying to act like y'all are not to be held accountable for your own actions when the government is literally, they took it to the Supreme Court to try to not give y'all benefits this month. And y'all are arguing about whether someone already receiving government benefits should continue to have children. Absolutely shameful and disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to just create scenarios out of thin air, that especially ones that probably aren't going to happen. There will probably never, there will probably never come a time when, the government puts stipulations or contracts of if you have this many kids, you either lose your benefits or the benefits only apply to the ones you had before you signed the contract. I don't think that'll ever be the case, because it is in the government's benefit as well for people to have kids. We have to keep that in mind. It's in the country's benefit for people to have kids, but it's not in our benefit to pay for people who are irresponsibly having kids. And I just don't think that, like, to my first point originally, I think that is common sense. But what has happened is that people have gotten incentivized. So it's not necessarily common sense anymore. It's actually a bit of an upside to just being able to do whatever you want and conceive however you want. But as you can see, that's changing. And things are starting to change to where we're starting to hold adults responsible for their decisions that they choose to make, and responsible as well to be able to handle the responsibilities that they've chosen to take on, because you've absolutely chosen it. You're never going to tell me that you decided to have over 5 kids and that wasn't a personal decision and that wasn't something that you wanted to do. So that's just where we're at right now. And, take note. Never make decisions based off what something external is going to do for you. Make decisions for what you can personally handle. And that's ultimately the message I really want to leave this video on. We can watch one more, though.
Then the habits look like I can't afford this place, and all right. But if you see I'm paying my bills every month on time, man, give me the keys to my shit. And don't get me wrong, I do understand they have to have some rules and regulations in place so that people not just come in and out of their shit, tearing up their shit. Okay. But y'all have to understand 3 times the rent. Imagine if rent is $2,000, right? That's meaning you have to make $6,000 for that apartment. That means you need to be making $72,000 after taxes to be able to afford that apartment when these jobs are not paying nowhere near.
That's not true. When they do that, the 3 times the rent, they actually go off your gross income. So not your net income, which is what she's referring to, which is after taxes. No, it goes off your gross income. And you want to know when you wouldn't have that problem? You wouldn't have that problem if you had a man. We just got to call it out. Listen, people are meant to be together. So if you had two people with incomes, then that issue doesn't really exist anymore. And on top of that, you'll probably have a better quality of life and you'll be more sustainable. But if not, and if you don't have kids either, then you should be using your time, work a little bit more so that you can afford that. But I do agree, 3 times the rent, that's difficult, especially when you're just getting out here in the world. And let's say maybe you don't have the parental support as other people, because it does take a little bit of time. You do got to put a little bit of skin in the game before you can really start earning, unless you're just really going to capitalize on your time. But ultimately, in the long term, I think you can pretty much get over that hurdle if you just prioritize cooperating with another person. I think that's the key. I think that's what's going to be moving forward a lot more in the US because of these reasons, because it's almost becoming survival at this point. But let's leave it there. Like the video, also subscribe if you want to join the Limitless Legion. Cash App link below if you want to buy your boy iced coffee and tip the channel. And also feel free to join the Patreon where I post self-improvement content. Until then, I'll catch you in the next video.